I love this Feast of Divine Mercy. The Feast of Divine Mercy has always been close to my heart because, first of all, of an understanding that I need God's mercy. That no matter how close I feel to Jesus, no matter how many opportunities I have to give Jesus to others, I still realize that I'm messed up, that I need God's mercy. But the thing is that God looks at us and He doesn't see someone who's on the ground. You see, a sinner and a saint, a champion and a loser, everybody falls to the ground. But the difference between a sinner and a saint, the difference between a champion and a loser is that even though all four fall to the ground, the champion gets back up again. The saint gets back up again. In the gospel today, we see a great saint, one of the greatest saints, who gets bad flack because he's known as Thomas, and we give him the title Doubting Thomas. And we look at him and we say, oh my goodness, you're a doubting Thomas. But the thing is, he's one of the greatest saints that ever lived. 2,000 years later, we're still talking about him. We're still asking for his intercession. Why? Because he fell just like you fall, just like I fall. But he got back up again. He was separated from the community. He was disillusioned. He walked away. And because he walked away, Jesus appeared and he wasn't there. He maybe was feeling sorry for himself. He maybe was feeling that it wasn't worth it anymore. And so he separated himself from the community. But the gathered community all of a sudden sees Jesus, the resurrected Christ, and he misses out. But he gets back up again by going back to the community, going back to the believers, going back to the place where he can catch the fire again. And then Jesus appears again. And guess what? He has this encounter with Jesus. And yes, Jesus says, put your finger here, put your finger on my side, touch and see, you are doubting. But you see, he was the first person, the first saint, the first person in all of Scripture to acknowledge Jesus as Lord and God. The first. No one ever before looked at Jesus and said, you are God, you are my Lord, and you are my God. Thomas was the first. How amazing is that? Jesus, you are my Lord, and you are my God. What a story of divine mercy. He was on the floor. He had doubted. And Jesus didn't say, that's it, you've fallen. I've given you so much. I've poured my mercy. I've poured my grace upon you. You've seen my miracles. You've seen so many things. Then now you've doubted. You've failed. That's it, Thomas. I've had enough. No. Jesus is persistent. And this is why it's divine. Because it's unconditional love. That God chases after us. Even when we fall to the ground 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, He still is in pursuit of us. He still lifts His hand towards us and He pulls us towards Him. This is divine mercy, that you can never do anything as long as you stay close to Jesus. You can never do anything that can separate you from the love of Jesus. Nothing. As long as you understand that you need His mercy. You need His forgiveness. You need to turn back to Jesus. You need Him, you see. You can't survive this alone. You can't survive this life alone. You can't survive this spiritual responsibility we have to be saints without fellowship with Jesus, the resurrected Christ. Go back to prayer, praying with your family. Surround yourself with people who love Jesus, like Thomas did. Online, on Twitter, Facebook, follow people who are in love with Jesus, who are sold out for Jesus. Let your mind be consumed by people who love the resurrected Christ. And ask for forgiveness. Know that He's ready to forgive you. Stay close to Him. Because you know what? If Jesus can make a saint out of doubting Thomas, I can promise you this. He can make a saint out of you. But you need to stay close to Him, to stay close to those who love Him. Because once you catch that fire, once you encounter the resurrected Jesus, your life will never be the same again. Be a champion, be a saint, but you can only do this through the divine mercy of Jesus.